calculate this right. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Normally, I would tell you what to do. Anyway, we have a bunch of administrators, which is really fun. But hey, today is a special day because our special guest, the 217 apps, which is #1 in the country, also without being an owner, right? So I just, really admire and inspired by the work ethic of this person, and really the people skills, the difference of him being a different type of leader, definitely very different than me, definitely very different than Tommy. Actually, not as different as Tommy. We're pretty similar, in my opinion, in terms of leadership styles. But I just want you guys to see it because a lot of you guys are a part of it. Some of you guys might be a part of his team and you don't even know, which is that does kind of suck. So we kind of made him think that he's gonna go get a special guest, but the special guest is him. So hopefully when he comes in, which should be, if we timed it right, now I'm now using all these filler words. It is a special day. I just want you guys to be a part of it because it's one more time, we've seen the business work, but some of you guys are new and you're like wondering, well, my job is just to go knock on doors and stuff like that, and not really. Whenever you keep building the team, and 3 months ago Tyler had I think it was just Josh on his team and maybe Glody, and that's it. And then you look now and there's 12 leaders. There's a leader under him that is going to be an owner in no time, Mr. Steve, and just a lot of good stuff going on. So if you would help us welcome our newest assistant manager, Mr. Tyler. While he collects his words, I'll recap what I said before that. Hey, assistant manager means you give us 3 names and you just get incorporated and you run your office. And as you guys can tell, and I don't know if you knew Tyler, but your team was almost by 100, the first office in the country, just your team.
Let's go, guys.
You just got to come up with the results. Sometimes you want it so bad, but you just don't have it there, and it's just a matter of time. You have to wait, or you just have to keep walking it in, keep walking it out until the results follow you. And going to be an assistant manager, and Tyler's gonna stay in Dallas with us. We're gonna put him in a different building, and he's gonna run his own thing. And but if you're a part of Tyler's team today, you have the option to hey, go across town in Dallas and be in his office where he will be the owner, and he will run the whole thing and start day one of his actual career, which is after you finish the training program. This is not the finish line, it's the starting line. And I know that sounds weird for all of you, some of you that are putting your whole soul into this, and we tell you that was just orientation. That was just a warm up.
That was the interview.
It is kind of true. Tyler's gonna sign the paperwork, and now he's gonna going in. It's just again one more time the proof of somebody that just keeps working hard, not the loudest guy, not the most extrovert. That you just keep working it out, and people are just excited to follow you, and just you have a huge team full of leaders. He has more leaders on his team that the second and third office that are already owners and operating for a long time. So, and then there's people in Indiana that are on his team right now. There's people outside of here. It's just super cool to see, and hopefully you guys use this as a belief injection of hey, I can relate to Tyler. I saw Tyler in the office working silent and working it out, And you know, he gets his little plaque. It says president. If you want to check it out, I think that's one of the things that I was more excited about is you're actually now the president, right? And you run your office, and you know he's only 25 years old, 23 or 20, how old is he? Really? 24 years old. And listen, and you know when done right, he won't have to write a resume ever in his life again. And I think that is just significant, you know. So very excited. Hopefully you guys appreciate our special guest. I tried my best to make it a little surprise. But you know, Jamie and her team made it a little awkward. We love them. So yeah, Tyler, you want to share a little bit? Maybe what does the business work? Tell us a little bit your thoughts.
Yeah, the business works. The business works. Definitely.
All right.
There you go. No, for sure. So if anything I can do for you, it's maybe a belief builder and just the fact that you don't have to be the loudest person in the room. You just have to carry the biggest group, right? And the business definitely does work, but it also, the rate at which you succeed is also dependent on who you're getting coached by, right? So who you surround yourself with, who has your ear, has your future, right? So just for a little bit of a perspective, I've been in the business for a minute. I've been on a couple different campaigns, been in a couple different states, worked with a couple different people, and been working with New Bern and with you guys for like about 4 months now.
Yeah.
4-ish months. And when I came out from that situation, working with you guys, there are probably 2 people on the team that are here, right? That I started building with, and just through the standards that you guys have created here in this environment. And the way that you drive forward with ambition towards hitting your goals with urgency, that's what built the team. It wasn't me, right? I just had to catch, you know, on the back. Richard always says, you know, if you see somebody succeeding, if you see somebody moving towards their goals, just grab on the caboose, like try to catch it. Try to catch that train of success. Because even if you hit half the mark, like if you're striving for that and you're following those people that are moving and moving on, right? You see some leaders are really moving on and taking control of their situation. Try to catch on to that because you, by nature, following those people and following that path will end up in your goals, right? So it's almost, if you see somebody that's in the same industry as you, if you see somebody that's in the same building as you, on this, you know, in the same environment, and you see them succeeding at the level that you want to succeed, and you're willing to do what they're doing, your success is almost automatic, right? If you're willing to do what it is that they did, your success is almost automatic. Which for me, when I got in this environment, I saw all you guys who were succeeding. I got, you know, John. He said a shout out to John. He just, when I came in, I was like, man, that guy's so confident. He's crushing everything in life. Right? We saw Wade get promoted pretty quickly when I started working with a team. You know, Tommy. A huge shout out to you because my fellow phlegmatic, I'm like, man, can a phlegmatic person be an introverted type person or a more chill, relaxed person be an owner in the business and be successful? And he built my belief in that area. You know, huge shout out obviously to Richard for just believing in me. I know that I'm not the most easy person to work with. Sometimes I look like I want to succeed and then I act like I don't, right? Like, and that I know is frustrating for a coach to coach a person like that, but him being patient with me and coaching me day in and day out. The entire team, Steve, also, I put a responsibility on your shoulders when we first hired you, and you took that responsibility and ran with it. I appreciate you for being open to coaching and continue to edify the standards that we're putting on the team. I know that you're going to be very quickly promoted if you could keep going the route that you're going to what your goals are in the business, opening up an office. I think that's going to be a done deal. But yeah, I think if I could give you guys anything, what's this? Before I say that, so super grateful for everything that's been created in this environment. One individual actually was on my original team that I came out here with. Right, and not even on the same program right now. He's got a brand new opportunity, which is going to take over the country, which I'm actually super excited to be to be associated with him. And is Mr. What do you guys call him? Mr. Josh Massanova. Huge shout out to him because Josh has been there with me since the beginning. Essentially, he's seen me grow, right? And it's easy for you to see somebody who's exactly where you want to be in life and follow them. But it's harder for you to say, hey, let me push the guy next to me because I'm going to help him get to the place where he wants to be in life. Josh, just huge shout out to you and huge thank you to you because
That's because of you, so thank you.
it's true. This guy never left Florida. but anyways, but I know you put a lot of trust in me, man, and you know, I'm excited to keep working with you the rest of my life and whatever we're doing. So also every one of the new leaders on the team, I know I've only known you for 3 or 4 months because you've all been hired since we got here, but I do see huge potential in a lot of you guys. Like Leah, I'm excited to see you growing. I see you starting to take control of your situation, started training people, doing your mock interviews, and I'm going to see what you're going to be able to do here in the next couple of weeks. And I think this business can take 6 to 12 months if you want it to. I also think that if you take it for face value and you take the coaching without filtering it through your own perspective and your own maybe self-doubt, right, and what you can accomplish, I think you can do it quicker than that, right? Because if you look at it, it was essentially done quicker than that in this situation once we got here into the environment. So it's totally possible for everybody to be able to hit your goals. And I'm going to tell you, it's going to be work. It's going to be some work, right? But you know, like Richard always says, I just rather own a job than have one. I just rather own a job than have one. I'd rather provide opportunities than worry about mine getting taken away, right? And I remember one of the things that I always remember while I'm going through the field specifically, you know, where all the negatives get dumped on you and you lose your complete ego, was I remember watching my dad, who has a parent that like works a salary type 9-to-5 type job. Same for me. My dad is somebody I respected all growing up. You know, he seemed like he really had a very successful career in the finance industry. He worked hard to get there for sure, but my dad's from California. He grew up in California. He was a skateboarder, surfer, you know, hippie, all that, and then refined himself and went to business school, went to college, and got a degree in finance and went to go work for Wells Fargo for 30 years. And I remember when I was growing up, we weren't like the richest people in the neighborhood, but we had food. We were taken care of in that aspect. But we had 7 kids in my family, so there's a lot of people. I don't care how much money you're making. If you got 7 mouths to feed, that's a long way to spread money, right? So one thing that we wanted to do as a family was take a trip to Disneyland when I was growing up, and we didn't really have the money for that. So together as a family, you guys know these jugs, these 5-gallon jugs, right? The Nestle jugs. We had one of those in the living room. I remember it was like an unspoken rule amongst the whole family that whenever you had pocket change, you passed that 5-gallon bucket, you put your change in there, right?
Okay.
And it had a Disneyland picture on the front of it. It took us 3 years to fill that jug. Yeah, it took us 3 years to fill that jug, but we did, and we went to Disneyland, and then we had one day to go to the beach. Just to make a long story short, I always wanted to learn how to surf from my dad. Like, I knew that he surfed when he was growing up. I grew up in Iowa, which there's no beaches in Iowa. There's no surfing, right? It's cold. It's real cold. But we were at the beach in Florida for one day. We had one day to go to the beach because we only had a 3-day trip down there in Florida after we went to Disney World for one day, or Disney World. And I remember we rented one surfboard, you know, one big 9-foot big surfboard, something easy to get up on the Florida waves, and we shared it amongst 5 brothers. Right, I got 5 brothers, so 6 boys total. We shared the surfboard, and me being from Iowa, never surfing before, it's very hard to get up on a surfboard because this is like the first time I'm in the ocean, to be honest. And I'm trying to get up on a surfboard, and trying to learn how to surf. And I looked to the beach, and knowing that my dad surfed growing up, who do you think I wanted to see me get up on the board? My dad. That's who I was looking for. So I was the first one of my brothers to get up on the surfboard when I was probably 7 or 8 years old. 7 years old. And I remember thinking, man, this is really difficult. 40, 50 times just whitewash, just getting crushed by the waves, not knowing which direction was up. I finally get up on the surfboard, and I look to the beach. My dad's gone, right? And we had one day there at the beach. And I remember washing up after I get up on the board for like 3 seconds, right? Having a 3-second, woo, I'm a surfer now. You know, and I get up on the beach and I look and I find my mom in the beach chair, you know, and I say, Mom, where's Dad? She says, oh, well, he had to go to work. right? So I remember just that moment wanted to see him, see me be so proud of his son. And remember, he spent the rest of that last day on our vacation on his laptop because work called him because he was salary and he needed to work no matter where he was, right? So he spent the rest of the day in the parking garage on the laptop. And I remember that. I remember that every single day trying to be, starting an entrepreneur project when I was 16 years old, starting a small company. I always wanted to own a job versus have one. I always wanted to make opportunities versus having one taken away. And this is just another opportunity for me to expand that mindset and hopefully have other people duplicate that as well so they can create more opportunities for them. I want more children to be having parents at home. That's what I really, really want. Right? I want more men to be able to take control of their finances so that they can take care of their family. Right? I want to see that. And I know the only way to do that is to have a couple individuals step out of mediocrity and go ahead and take control of their situation. So that's what I got for you guys.